Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Hello, and thank you for listening and watching New Life Live, and thanks to your friend who told you about us. Word of mouth is awesome. I'm Brian Perez, your host, and I'm joined in the studio by licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris. How are you, JMH?
I'm doing well.
Great. And Doctor of Marriage and Family Therapy, Sheri Denham Keffer joins us too. How are you, Sheri?
I couldn't be better now that I'm with you two.
Awesome. We can't wait to talk to our listeners. Let's talk about your loneliness, your despair, your in-laws, your exes, you name it. We are here for you. Maybe you're starting a new job and you're wondering how you can start afresh, or you're going through custody battles or something. Let's talk about it here on New Life Live. And Sheri, what's on your mind to start us off today?
All of that stuff.
Actually,
yeah,
okay.
that was great, because that gave us a whole menu, a banquet of conversations to have. And in light of those, we need boundaries. Boundaries. And you know, boundaries, I think, at times are like a bar of soap. Like when something happens and you're hurt, you reach for that boundary and somehow it just keeps slipping out of your hand and falling on the floor. But there's three basic principles when you're thinking about boundaries to figure out what you're supposed to do, if anything. So last night I got home, and I just moved into a new place, and I got home at 10:45. Yesterday was trash day, right? So you take your trash cans out. I've only been there 2 weeks, and I stuck them out there. I got home last night, and my trash cans were gone.
Like gone?
Gone, disappeared.
Not just the trash in them.
No. That would have been nice, and they would have left the trash can. But if you can imagine, I'm coming home. I haven't been there that long. Now, you all have heard me say that shame is the culprit of chaos. Shame. And those trauma-induced shame beliefs that we have in our lives because of other situations that happened, they just pop up. Like, you know, they're in your mind before you even know they're in your mind. So I bounced all over the place, from feeling powerless, helpless, from the thought that went through my head. I looked around and I thought, okay, well, if somebody took my trash cans, I'm going to take somebody else's trash cans. Now, can you believe that's an offending behavior? That comes from shame, because somebody, trauma-induced shame belief, somebody hurt me, and so I want to take back what's rightfully mine, but that means I have to go into offending, stealing behavior.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's not the right, don't go there. But it came into my mind. So powerless, helpless, I'll take something back. So then I got on the phone this morning with our trash company, and I thought about my chapter in my book, which is called No is a Complete Sentence. And in that chapter, it's all about boundaries. And the 3 steps are, when you've been impacted by somebody or something, it's you want to ask these questions. Who is the owner of the problem? Who is in control of the problem? And who's responsible to fix it? Right? Now, if I wasn't thinking clearly and I didn't go through these 3 steps, I'm like, somebody has a problem with stealing. Mm-hmm. And I could have sat there in the victim seat.
Yeah.
And done nothing. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I got on the phone, I called the trash company, I reached out to the HOA, I had to read this whole manual to find out what to do, you know, with trash cans. But I decided to do the right thing. I'm taking responsibility for my life.
Yeah.
I'm in control of what I can do to fix this problem. And that's what I did. I got 2 trash cans coming from the trash company at no charge.
Brand new ones, and they don't stink or anything. We'll be right back.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Dallas, Texas, July 18th through the 20th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEWLIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we are back here on New Life Live. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to go right to the phones. Claire, you're coming up, but first here is Liz calling from the Bronx. Hi there, Liz. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for calling in today.
Oh, you're welcome. This is so much great information that I'm hearing from the doctors and everyone. And I'm like in the middle of all of this, what has been spoken about.
Okay.
So, but here's my thing. When it's like you moved on, it's like you had a book picking your life back. So that's me. I'm in that mood. And I don't want to play tug of war. I'm going forward. So as I'm trying to go forward, the other one's pulling back, like just constantly pulling me back.
Okay.
And I'm one that don't like to be held down.
Okay.
Like if I feel like I'm being held down, it's like just more and more traumatized to me. I don't care what the situation is. I'm one that I don't really care that, whatever people may, well, your family, hey, if there was somebody in the president and I want to work at Wawa, I'm going to work at Wawa. That's me.
So what is it that happened recently that prompted your call? Because our listeners don't know the backstory.
Oh, well, the backstory was, there was a lot of rumors, I guess, at the job, and I didn't even know what the rumors were.
Okay.
So I was like, again, I'm in the ocean trying to, I'm outside of the ocean, they're in the ocean, but they're all teamed up in the blue water. I'm outside. I see the clear skies. So all I can see is the clear skies. I can't see the blue water.
Okay.
So as they step out, I'm supposed to know what's coming out of the blue water, and I don't. So that's, to me, it's like a shark.
And so, Liz,
So I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to fight, so I can survive.
Yeah.
And that's the mode that I'm in.
Okay.
Whether people understand it, it's always how it started.
So, Liz,
It's always that way.
Liz.
The cause and the effect.
Liz, tell
Yes.
me what the rumor was.
It had to be. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it
so
had to
good.
be.
No. I'm glad you're not sure. I'm
Go
glad
ahead.
you're not sure. You don't know what the
Yeah.
rumor was. So
Right.
it sounds like you have moved on from something, some people, a situation, and people have things to say about it. People have judgments about that. But you are the
Yeah.
type of person, you're not going to let people hold you back. You're not going to let people hold you down. You're going to do
Right.
what you need to do to be the best you. Do you have a question or a concern about that? Is there someone challenging you, like telling you that that's wrong?
Constantly. Yeah, it's constantly going. It's still going on. Like a year has passed, and I've been told to move on. Like, okay, go on. Right? I've talked to some of the doctors and listening into the show, and I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I have done that, it's done. Let it go. It's done.
Yeah.
So I went back to school. So now I'm trying to find a job. So let's say this job that I'm on offers me a position. While I'm in school, I'm trying to get to the career. It may take time. I get it. It's a lot going on. So, but if they're offering me it, because some people may not want it, because maybe they don't want to come to work on the weekend. See, I'm me. I'll work.
Yeah.
I may
Okay.
not be able to go to church. I was in a position where I could have went to church, but now I'm swung back.
Yeah.
and have to start all over again. It's like going to a 4-year university all over again.
That's a
Because I
great
was
thing,
over
though.
there, and I could have done it and went to church and did this. Now I have to reverse it. So it's like church is not open 7 days a week. Maybe that's something.
Are you
that they could look at.
you getting challenges from church? Are people having problems with the changes you're making?
No.
So
No.
who's
It
having a
wasn't
problem?
from church. I grew up in the church and been back and forth to church, but I'm also a workaholic. I am a workaholic. I believe in taking care of my kids. I don't care whatever shift. I don't care what I have to, and I've always been that way.
So, Liz, are you
So-
afraid that the rumors or whatever it was that were happening at your previous job are going to follow you to the new job somehow? Okay.
Yes.
So
Because it's on social media. It's on social media, and I don't defend myself because I'm not on social media. But I know that it's there. I can't even turn my TV on sometimes. Because it's like, okay, now you're seeing it flashing through the TVs. Like, what?
okay. So Liz, sometimes people have thoughts about what they're seeing, about what people are doing, about how people are living their lives. And that's coming from their own experiences, their worldview, their opinions, and their perspectives. And we can't really do anything about other people's perspectives, but it is important for us to focus on how we move forward. And so if you feel like you're being led to go back to school and get a degree, girl, go do you. If you feel like you're being led to move into a new job position, do that. Just do it in ways that don't harm others, keeping that love others, love yourself, love God in mind, and just staying focused on the main thing being love yourself and love others the way you love yourself, and not causing harm to other people. And Liz, you mentioned the book Take Your Life Back. That might be a good book for us to send to you.
I think she might have said that she read it.
Oh, okay.
I can find it. Have you read that book?
Yeah, but
Did you read Take Your Life Back?
yes, and I'm moving forward to that. But if I'm still being held back,
Nope, you're not being
not
held
that
back. You're not being held back.
Let me ask you a question. I am so curious about you right now because I would love to be sitting having a Starbucks with you. And I would probably ask you one thing. I would say, Liz, can you tell me, if you float back in your family of origin and growing up, can you tell me when you first started having to fight to survive?
I would say I've been a fighter since I was 12.
Okay. And perfect. What happened when you were 12?
Well, there was, addictions and things like that, yes.
In your family of origin, you grew up with a parent that was addicted?
One parent,
yeah. Like alcohol, all of that?
No.
What?
No.
Drugs?
Well, kind of a mixture, yes. But I've been fighting. And I've already been in the mode of taking care of my family. And so I'm done. Like, I feel like people,
right.
well, you need to do
But
this,
hold on one
Go take care of
second.
more people.
Hold on one second. So the addictions, I mean, is it chemical addictions? One parent.
Well, at that time, mixture.
A mixture. Any infidelity?
Not with my parents.
Okay, but
Like in broken relationships, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, with me.
So do you know what? You have, I think, possibly, a 12-year-old, a younger you, a 12-year-old, that experienced incredible fear and pain and injustice. When I say injustice, it means you didn't get what you needed. You didn't get what you wanted. You didn't have safety. You didn't have love and nurture and care.
Right.
You were robbed of some of the basic things that every 12-year-old needs because of the addiction, because of another adult in your life that was being irresponsible.
And my mom lost a home. Yeah, I've been through it.
Okay.
Yeah, she lost a home.
All right.
And I'm like, I don't have to go through that all over again, and that's why I'm getting it again.
But
like,
this,
you need to do this to y'all. You need to know.
Oh, but let me tell you what I hear. Let me tell you what I hear. I hear your 12-year-old, and I think she's driving your bus. I think your 12-year-old is driving your bus. Do you know that even as adults, we can have these trauma events that get crystallized in our mind that all of a sudden put us into fight? And then they put us into, I will never lose a house, right? And that can make us a workaholic because we're like, I'm not going to go through that. I'm not going to allow to happen with me the injustice and the loss and the pain and the heartache that I felt. So guess what happens? Our 12-year-olds have a backpack. And that backpack, we carry. We carry to every relationship. We carry to every job. And 12-year-olds that are in fight, they might have a little bit of an edge with other people. Other people might feel like, what is going on with her? Well, what they don't know is what happened to you. They don't know that you were robbed and that there's been incredible injustice. So the idea that there could be these things said about you at this last job that's you have no control over. Your 12-year-old may be trying to right, like because of the injustice, she may be trying to fight to get something that she can't get because it's loss. It's grief. It's loss. Sweet one, you had so much pain. And so if I or Dr. Jacqui was working with you, do you know what we would do? We would start, instead of trying to fix you, we would start with your pain spot. We would start with how out of control.
Yeah, definitely.
And so do you see how we just walked you into, instead of trying to convince you what you need to do different, we gotta unravel that pain. We got to take the steam out of your fight. It's not that you won't be able to advocate for yourself. Like, they stole my trash cans last night. You know what, girl? I grew up with trauma, too. Yeah, and there was a part of me that wanted to fight by stealing somebody else's trash can. Like, I have my own 12-year-old from time to time that I have to go, hold on a second, right? That I have to be an adult here. But that impulse to go into fight when we've been wronged is real. So I want to suggest that you consider holding on the line, because I think you would respond really well to something called EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or brain spotting. There are a couple of different interventions that therapists do that help to get into that trauma, to help release the steam. And help your 12-year-old help you?
Well, no. This was when I was 12.
I know. But do you know your 12-year-old is still alive and well? I can hear her.
Oh, you mean
I see.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
She's running the show. She's running the show.
She's running the show. She's driving the bus.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know. So guess what? This is why you called today, right? Because we're gonna have you hold on. We've got other therapists that are in your area, and we're gonna get you connected to somebody that can do some deeper work, so that you can go rescue that 12-year-old and give her a different landing pad. So she doesn't have to fight day and night.
Jacqui.
Healing is a choice. It's the next book that I think of when I think of Take Your Life Back. I also think of Healing as a Choice. And so I would just like to send you Healing as a Choice. And I think that could be a good support as you journey on through this EMDR process. If we can get you connected with someone in your area, we'd love to just know that you're going to be well. You're going to have healing.
Yep.
Yeah.
As much as we love helping people who call in to New Life Live, sometimes a deeper work is needed to get through issues. Thankfully, we have a nationwide network of Christian counselors and coaches to give you the ongoing help you need in addressing past or current struggles, whether it was back when you were 12 years old or how that continues now to this day. Let me read a quick testimony from someone who connected with a counselor. My husband grew up in an alcoholic home. He suffers from depression and addiction. When I called New Life in crisis, Jeff answered. He comforted me and referred me to a counselor. We've been in couples counseling. Trust is slowly being rebuilt, and New Life has been the catalyst for it all. Doc Holliday might want to be your huckleberry, but we'd rather be your catalyst. Healing starts with a phone call to 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and we are so grateful when you call in and ask us your questions. Claire, you are coming up next here on New Life Live. Thank you for calling in today and for holding on. We'll talk to you in just a moment.
I was stuck. I was so stuck. 27 years married. My husband addicted to pornography for the majority of our marriage. I was very isolated and didn't really know which way to turn.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, Restore Intensive will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
When two people want to do their part, we can be restored. But if they don't, we can still be restored. We are not stuck because someone else made a decision. That God lets us weigh in on how we want to walk out our life. Our wellness does not hinge on another person's decision.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
You guys helped me figure out what was going on.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
And now we're going to Washington, D.C. to speak with Claire, who's listening to us on WAVA. Hi there, Claire. Thanks for calling in today.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah. What's going on? How can we help you?
So I have a question referencing 2 John 1:7-9. So how do I deal with somebody who has a different theology and doesn't believe in the Trinity, and they believe there are errors in the Bible, but you share a child with them?
Oh my, is this you?
Yes.
Okay. Jackie.
How old's your little one?
He's 11 months.
Okay, little boy. And then how are you married? Is this just the father of the child that you're talking about?
Just the father of the child.
Got it. Okay, and you guys were together how long? Or are you still together, I guess?
So I've known him for about 8-9 years.
Okay.
And we were in a relationship for about 2 months. I noticed some things were off, and there was a lot of pressuring to be physical. I stood firm with no's, and until it just took one weak moment. And so the relationship lasted for about 2 months.
Okay, got it.
But during that 2 months, you conceived a child.
Yes.
Okay.
And you said, how do I deal with? And so, I mean, I could have a bunch of answers to that, but it really depends on what it is we're dealing with. So the scripture you said, 7-9, I'm reading New Living Translation. I say this because many deceivers have gone out into the world. They deny that Jesus Christ came in a real body. Such a person is a deceiver and an antichrist. And it goes on to say, watch out so that you don't lose what you've worked so hard to achieve in terms of your own relationship. So that watch out so that you don't lose. So you don't lose what you've worked hard to achieve is kind of where I stop. Are you concerned that he's trying to reshape and mold your faith and your belief? Are you concerned about the child? What do you mean when you say deal with?
So within those 2 months, we had a lot of conversations about theology, and some of the things he said that I was wrong about. Scripture has errors in it, and things aren't actually what they seem. So it had me questioning my own faith and questioning everything, and that felt very unsteady. And we had a conversation the other day about, again, the Trinity and who Jesus was. And the verse talks about not letting them enter the home. And recently we've been allowing him to come over, do like visitations. I'm seeing child being cordial, and I'm trying to do everything out of love. Even though there's a lot of hurt, I'm trying to, stick to what God's commanded us to do. But then I read that last night, and he does try to implement. It's like very subtle, but every time it happens, there's a feeling of confusion and I would say disgust, and just I feel offended the way he speaks about God and the limitations of his power.
Mm-hmm. So you're wondering, because that verse says, if anyone comes to you and does not bring this doctrine, do not receive him into your house, nor greet him, for he who greets him shares in his evil deeds. So Claire, are you saying, should I never bring this guy into my home? He's the father of my child.
Correct. So how do I handle that? How do I go about things?
So I think we're on the other side of don't bring him into my home, right? Where it's already too late for that. So now it's a matter of you understanding your faith. He has a belief system that is different than yours. I think your concern is that he is challenging yours and it's confusing you. Do you have other people in your life, other strong believers in your life, Bible-believing people that you can communicate with, commune with, study with?
Yes, I do.
How's that going?
If I have any questions, there are people I can go to and kind of keep me founded or grounded.
Okay.
And it does help, but I feel like I cannot have a conversation with the child's father about anything, and everything sparks from his theology, his foundation, how to raise a child, how to go about things, the treatment of me. So he sees everything that I've done as evil, and it's pretty much retaliating, even though I'm trying to take the high road.
Have you done custody and things like that? Do you have a legal custody agreement?
We are just starting that.
Okay. That is how you deal with it.
We have that.
That is how you deal with it. You're going to have to protect yourself and your child legally. If you're being manipulated with Scripture, your belief systems being different makes sense to me. Your beliefs about how to raise a child being different makes sense to me. It doesn't have to be twisted. We need to look at how we grew up. We grew up differently. How we love could be helpful with that.
Is that your 11-month-old in the background that we hear?
Yes.
Yeah, so
precious.
cute. You know what, Claire? There's a lot of people are listening to you right now.
Yeah.
Because what happened in getting pregnant, right? We hear your son and we love him with you, right? You can't imagine your life without him. But there's a lot of people listening because they just realized that a moment in time can change a direction for everything.
Yeah.
right? And the Bible talks about being unequally yoked and some of the challenges that brings on. And I think...
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we come back from the break here on New Life Live. Claire, don't hang up. We'll be back with you in a moment.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEWLIFE. Club New Life changes lives.
I think I go way back to listening to New Life, learning so much from it, and then becoming a Club New Life member.
Club New Life is a monthly giving family that helps New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people.
You know, I'm so thankful because you know why I keep giving? Because I keep learning, and I'm so thankful for all the lives that you touch every day and the people's lives. So when I get to still hear the radio show, it's just so encouraging to my heart.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
And you know one reason I give? Because I feel like sometimes I'm hiding behind a counselor's couch listening to all this great information and not paying. So my guilt of this great advice is alleviated by being a Club New Life member.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. And together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Claire, are you still with us?
I'm here.
All right.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah, so, you know, my heart breaks for you, Claire. Because if it was just about this guy and you guys had a different theological background, you've known him 8 or 9 years, and let's say there wasn't a baby, right? Let's just say you eventually got to a point with him that you realized it's just vinegar and water. He's not going to move towards being a believer. What would you have done with him relationally?
So I know the Bible talks about casting the pearls amongst swine. So I would speak to him.
But would you stay or go?
Where you stood out of love, but then eventually I would go.
Of course. You would have just said, we're not equally yoked. This is not a good thing for both of us because we have such different views on something that I feel so passionate about. So the challenge is you're holding a little boy that you feel so passionate about, and you're holding your faith that you feel so passionate about. And the reality is you share those with another human. Like your son, because he's the father of this boy, has rights to be in his life. And I could imagine that part of your conversing right now is like a desperate attempt to try to get him to see the light, not only for his sake, but probably even more so for your son.
Yes.
Right? You're impassioned because you're like, our boy, I want him to grow up and know what's true. And I don't want him to believe like his birth father. But do you know that is going to require incredible finesse, faith, work, humility, tenacity,
No.
Because your faith will ring true to your son. It's just you can't protect him from the beliefs of his dad.
How does that feel inside when you hear what Dr. Sheri said?
Claire?
Feels like I have to trust God.
It what?
Feels like you have to trust God.
Yeah.
Just fully trust God.
Well,
this is God's child, and
yes,
He loves more than I do. So
yes,
God made a way for us to be with Him, even though we're gonna make mistakes, we're gonna sin and fall short. We know we're forgiven. We know we're loved.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that. Sometimes we find it hard, though, to extend that grace. And the father of your son has some different beliefs, but it doesn't sound like he believes he's not a believer. So is it you guys both profess Christianity, but you come at it from different perspectives?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. And so some of what may be going on is what I was talking about in another show, where sometimes we just are mistranslating the language. And because of all the emotion and the tension, and we're not together, that makes it even harder to seek to understand each other. It sounds like from what you said, he seems to be trying to manipulate your actions and behaviors using scripture. But then it's also like you're coming back at him using scripture for your responses. Study the word. Read the word, use the word. I don't disagree with that, but I'm going to ask that you take a step back from 2 John and use what God has put inside of you. And that's why Dr. Sheri asked, what would you have done? You knew him for 9 to 8 years, and in that 9 to 8 years hadn't come to an understanding that his belief system is so different from yours that dating is a bad idea. I don't want you to get distracted by anything else and miss other important information. All right, he is already coming in the house. So work on grace and work on what is the plan for our child to grow up healthy and happy and safe, where we're not arguing. Because you and the father are not trying to reconcile relationship, right?
Well, he said it was a month ago, he said he wanted to get back together. So we can be one family unit. But he does act charismatic and charming outside, but once we're alone, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of deception. He would act one way, and so I don't know if he was just saying it just to...
Is that something you want, to get back together with him so that you guys are a unit?
No. Because we're still unequally yoked.
Okay. Yeah, good for you. Good. See how clear you are?
Good answer.
Claire, that's clarity. Do you know your name has to do with being clear? Clarity. Yeah. Clarity is kindness. And I'm proud of you for being that clear on what is the best plan for you. And
therefore your son.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know what's so interesting about Paul in that whole passage? He says, hey, I don't want to leave this all to paper and ink. He said, I want to come and see you face to face so that I can bring some hope. Do you know what, Claire? I think you're going to need some face-to-face time with a counselor, with some friends that see you, with really wise people to help you not only work on establishing the legal custody, but just to help you talk through all those sticking points that are going to be there so that you guys don't end up fighting and having there be such a split between your two that your son grows up, in a war zone. But that he can really see that you love Jesus, and that he's going to hear about Jesus from you. He's going to be able to, when he's with you, he's going to be able to do the things, go to church, be a part of VBS. You can lead him to Christ. Like there's all kinds of things that you're going to be able to do with your little boy. It's just you're sharing him with the father.
And for you, dad can do those same things. Like we don't always think the same as other people who believe what we believe. I love Jesus. My husband loves Jesus. He grew up in Church of God in Christ in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I grew up in LA visiting Indiana in the summers and going to a Baptist church. We have some differences of opinions on things. That doesn't make him a terrible person. He's still an amazing father. I think I did a pretty darn good job as a mom. And yet our kids still need therapy. And they were raised in the church, right? So don't hold so rigidly to things that you miss the person in front of you.
In this case, though, my antenna's going up because this guy has said, is the Bible clearly, there's errors in Scripture? I don't know if he's denying the Trinity, so this takes it to a step like her original question: is this guy in a cult, and should I let him come into my house? So. Yeah, that's where, there are some things where I think she's just being careful.
I agree she is. But those are still thoughts. Those are still thoughts, opinions, and positions. And he is active in his father's life. I'm not hearing anything in that makes me fearful, because the kid's growing up knowing that Jesus is real. Mm-hmm. Everything else is going to work itself out in the wash because the Holy Spirit is in charge. We introduce to Jesus, not the Bible, right? The relationship is with God, with Jesus. The Bible is a collection of stories so that we can get to know him. But I think we really get to know him in relationship in everyday life. It's just pictures and stories to help make it make sense. I think sometimes people hold too rigidly to that, and that becomes their idol instead of God. And so I think we just get too twisted up in the semantics. And again, people translate information differently. I've heard pre-trib, post-trib, Trinity, no Trinity. Jesus is Jesus, and God's the creator of the universe. Period. Mm-hmm. And I think understanding that is the most important thing.
Yeah. Sheri?
Okay. Yeah, and right, because you both birthed this precious little 11-month-old boy, you both have legal rights to him. So that the courts don't care about theological differences.
Right.
They care about safety issues. Yeah. They care about, if a child's being abused or neglected, those kind of things. And we don't hear that's happening, but you just hold your ground, you Jesus mama.
Yeah.
And
don't let them manipulate you out of what you believe. Stand firm in your beliefs.
Clarity is kindness.
Yes. And you said How We Love would be the best book to send her?
I think How We Love is a good place. And, How We Love Our Kids is going to come soon behind that. But How We Love, I think, is a good start.
Perfect. Claire, thanks for calling in today. Stay on hold. We'll send you a copy of that book.
Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Whether or not you've ever called in to New Life Live, no doubt you've applied some of the advice you've heard to navigate the ups and downs of your life in a better way. If you benefit from what you hear, would you please help support the work of this ministry with a gift of any amount? You can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text NLM to 28950 or visit newlife.com. And while you're at newlife.com, you can purchase a resource or two from the New Life store. That helps as well. You know, something I've noticed in the 6 months or so that I've been hosting New Life Live is how often the phone rings, okay? And then one of our staff picks it up, but nobody's there. It's like you've been talking yourself into calling. You say, I'm going to do it today, right now. Pick up the phone, 1-800-229-3000, and then the phone rings. And then you hang up. It reminds me, guys, of like high school, when you call that girl. You ask for her number, you call the girl, you got the courage, and then dad answers the phone. So what do? You hang up. Or at least that's what I used to do. But do it afraid is something that you hear us say a lot here at New Life Live. Do it afraid. Do it anyway. Nothing's going to change until you make that call. You think you're scared, you're talking, you're airing your dirty laundry to people, and you might call in, you might start to cry, you might get choked up. But if you've heard this program, we can deal with this. I mean, Dr. Sheri, Dr. Jacqui have heard this for years, maybe decades. They can deal with whatever it is you're going through. A lot of the stuff that you call in about that you're not sure whether to call in about because, they can't help me with this. This is like way beyond. No, I have heard some incredible advice from these two ladies and everyone else who counsels here on the program. And man, you're in good hands when you call us here at New Life. So call us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, or when we're here doing a live program at 1-800-229-3000, and give that number to your friends too. Maybe post it on your Facebook wall or something. Get the word out about New Life Ministries. So another way you can get your questions to us when we're not here is you can send us an email, and instructions on how to do that are on our website, newlife.com/radio. Jen sent this one in. What should I require of my husband watching inappropriate videos? Should we separate? Here's the rest of the story. I think my husband has a sexual addiction. I discovered pornography on his phone 13 years ago. He has never admitted this problem to anyone and did not want to go to counseling. He says he stopped. He has been through one-sided emotional affairs since then. Just now I've discovered that he's viewing inappropriate videos on YouTube. What should I tell him that I require of him? If he doesn't agree and follow through, should we separate? How do I go about doing a separation? I'm afraid he's the type that will never admit anything to me on his own and will refuse counseling. We go to a small church, and I'm afraid that my moving forward with this is going to flip our lives upside down. I feel like I'm enabling him to continue in this since I'm the only one who knows. I feel like he hates it, but I'm just not sure that he'll be willing to do the real work to expose himself and recover. What do you guys say? Sheri?
Well, first off, Jen, I am heartbroken for you in that you've been living with this for over a decade, for 13 years. There's been inappropriate sexual acting out with pornography. And you said, one-sided affairs, emotional affairs, which what's really interesting when you say that, one of the things that I wonder about is not only the possibility of a sex addiction, but something called love, sex, and relationship addiction, which means that some people who are acting out pornography or relationally, They are acting out and they're looking for emotional cookies from other people. And yeah, those are emotional affairs. They're pulling from other females, in this case, to be seen, to be admired, to be loved. Now, sometimes, and I don't know what your story is or his story, Jen, but sometimes these guys have grown up with a mother that is enmeshed with them. Now, I don't know if that's his story, but there's a situation where a mother has been too gloomy, where she's put her energy into him, kind of suffocated him emotionally as a child. He could have possibly been her teddy bear in
Her
ways.
surrogate husband.
Her surrogate husband. And so what happens is they don't know how to have a healthy, reciprocal, intimate relationship with you. And so it leaks out. It leaks out through pornography. It leaks out through these one-sided emotional affairs, which are never one-sided, right? There's two people that are benefiting from that. But, you know, the other person might not know that he's glomming. I've given you way too much, not way too much information. I've given you a lot of information, but
good information.
I just want to validate the violation. I want to validate the boundaries and the emotional affairs, because I don't think this gets enough credibility in the church. I think people are looking for that photo, right, of whatever to prove that it crossed the line into a sexual acting out, and then people would understand your separation. But I think you're feeling it inside, and you're saying, I can't do this. I can't keep pretending that everything is okay with us when you're not owning it or not willing to get help. Now, do we separate? There's one step I think I would want you to do. And in my book, I hope you get my book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal. No is a complete sentence. We started the show with this. Is 3 questions. Who's the owner of the problem? Who's in control of the problem? And who's responsible to fix the problem? Guess what, girl? As much as he's doing this, and you want to control what he's doing, ultimately, you are the one that gets to make choices for yourself. So I would draw a line in the sand. I would say, hey, I'm really struggling and hurting over this long history of acting out, and I'm asking you to go to every man's battle. And if you are willing to go to every man's battle, then I will put a pause in steps that I am going to be taking to put some distance in between us, because I can't do nothing. I need to make some choices. And maybe you're telling him that you are going to be putting some distance in, not sure what that is, maybe a different room in the house, maybe separation, you're not sure, but you really need him. You're requiring that he do something to face himself and to get treatment. Dr. Jacqui?
Yeah, and you stated that you didn't think that he would do it, and so I would also prepare your own heart and mind for that. When I counsel parents, I always say, don't set a punishment you can't live with, right? If you've already bought tickets and family's all coming in town and we're all going to Disneyland Saturday, do not say, if you don't make your bed, you don't get to go to Disneyland, or you don't get the grade, because you can, make your bed pretty easily. You don't get this grade, then you don't get to go. Well, then who's staying home with this kid? Because everybody else is going to Disneyland and you want to go to Disneyland. So be careful about ultimatums that you set, because you have to actually live with that boundary that you're setting. And so think about you. There is a problem here that you do own. And you get to make choices for yourself. You need to make those choices based on what you are doing and not necessarily what he's doing, because you've already said he's not going to want to go to counseling, but absolutely invite him.
Jen, you should definitely get a copy of Sheri's book. It's called Intimate Deception. It's available in the newlife.com store. And your husband needs to sign up for Every Man's Battle. And you can get all the details about that at newlife.com.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.